Welcome back to Spotlight. Having fun, and we're having a good conversation with three girls brigades. Mrs. Hazeland Bowen, she is what are you? The chairman of the conference committee, the conference chairman, and the international vice president for the Caribbean and Americas. We have Annika Williams, she's an emerging leader, and Ms. Joanne Williams Roberts, she's the captain of the Road Towns Girls Brigade. And we're talking about the conference. We were talking about the conference that's coming up. And tell me when that conference is coming up again.
The conference is from the 14th through the 21st of July.
Right. And there's a Girls Brigade push to increase their training so that they could come more into the community, be more visible, do more activities, make a greater impact.
Yes.
That's basically it, right? In a nutshell. And we've been talking about other things, so if you just joined us, and of course, if you miss any part of the program, you could catch us on jtvlive.net. It'll be repeated on Sunday, the Sunday that's coming up at 2:30. Every Sunday, Spotlight is rebroadcast on JTV. So, you could catch us. I want to open up the phones. I want to see if anybody wants to make a contribution. Any other brigaders out there that want to say something. So the telephone number is on the screen, so you can give us a call. Let us know what's going on. How big is the Girls Brigade internationally and then locally?
Well, locally, we have a membership of about 160. Mm-hmm. Actually, it was quite close to 200. Mm. And the regional membership is over 2,000. Internationally, the membership is about 200,000.
Mm. So you got a lot of girls brigades. Now you have a program. When you come into but let me not answer the question I'm going to ask. I got to break all these bad habits I have as a host. I'm working on myself. What happens when you become a member of the Girls Brigade, captain?
Well, you take a pledge that you seek, serve, and follow Christ, and thereafter you begin to earn badges at your rank level, eventually coming up to young leadership status.
So you say it again. You make a pledge to accept Christ as your personal Lord and Savior.
Yes, we say seek, serve, and follow Christ.
So there's a little distinction.
Oh.
Seek, serve, and follow Christ.
Yes.
In a nutshell.
Okay. Now, how is that different than going to church and saying you're getting saved? Say you're gotten saved.
But first of all, we're interdenominational. As well as international, of course. So it's about applying Christ to all areas of your life and living it out. Girls Brigade are required to be attached to a church. And so traditionally, they've been attached to Methodist churches. But really and truly, they can be attached to any church, any Christian church.
Right, and I wanted to add to that. And I wanted to add to it in honor of our own Methodist supporters, because I tend to be a believer that the Methodist Church obviously knows something good when they see it, and they've kept it. Because internationally, Girls Brigade is not Methodist. They're attached to almost every denomination under the sun. There's a lot of Lutherans, there's Anglicans, there are Baptists, there's even Pentecostal Girls Brigades. In fact, our USA contingent are primarily Pentecostals. They're attached to Church of God, New Testament churches, and so forth. So it's not really a Methodist thing per se, but the Methodists and the BVI just know a good thing, and they decided to use it to their own advantage.
Okay.
And
so the Methodists have really embraced it fully.
And I must say, in Rotown, the girls are not predominantly Methodist. In Rotown, just about every denomination is represented.
Yeah.
Because again, it's an after-school thing.
and we serve the community, not necessarily any particular. So it's any child, any girl who has an interest, they can join, and we embrace them. In fact, even some of our leaders are from other denominations, because we believe in Christian fellowship as Christians, as opposed to making using labels and demarcations. I wanted to add something to what you were saying before when you asked if it isn't the same as saying you're going to church and you're accepting Christ. The pledge, you notice, that they make is to seek, serve, and follow Christ. In that, we appreciate that girls come from various backgrounds, and some homes are not necessarily homes where there are a lot of structured Christian teaching per se, and they may not necessarily be there when they join Girls Brigade. They may not necessarily be at a place where they have accepted Christ themselves, but their pledge is to seek Him. So yeah.
So your view is that it's a process.
Yes.
In the Girls Brigade, it's a process.
Yes.
You just don't say, well, you can, but you don't say I'm saved. You say, I'm going to seek Christ, and then in that process you develop as a whole human being through the teachings of Christ.
Exactly. That's correct.
Exactly.
Okay. What type of activities, I got a text, what type of activities does the Girls Brigade do to achieve the four-sided program?
Oh, thank you.
Somebody knows something I don't.
It is so wide. On the educational side, we may learn to make, it's age appropriate. For the juniors, for example, on the educational side, you may learn to bake, make tuna fish sandwich, smoothies. On the spiritual side, we may have a discussion on a passage and to relate it to, a Christian value. On the service side, you may decide to go and visit, and that's in Road Town, or young people of 5 to 7 year old religiously adopt an older person in the society, and they would go and they would take flowers and visit them, sing for them, pray for them. And on the side that I miss, physical side, they may go hiking, camping, they may do an afternoon of aerobics or something like that. Skipping, I know in Road Town they love skipping, but any of those activities, anything that touches us, those sides can be done and are done during the Girls Brigade year.
Okay. Did you say education? Because I'm trying.
Educational. Yes.
What did you say?
Physical.
What did you say for educational?
For educational, you can learn to cook.
Okay.
To cook, make mobby, make tarts, and it's appeal to persons in the community who have a talent. If you can bake, if you can sew, whatever you can do, you can come to any of the leaders and say, well, I have a talent I want to share, I want to pass on. And we do that. That also is very helpful.
What about schoolwork, academics? What role do you play in that relationship?
That would fall probably under the educational side, because we can do sessions sometimes on having good study habits. Learning how to manage your time effectively and those type of things. But what we find, I don't know why it is that the girls who tend to be very committed to the Girls Brigade work and committed to completing their tasks and their challenges and going for their awards, we've found that they've all become very, very strong academically. And I think that comes with a discipline. It's something that you see actually with children who participate in extracurricular activities generally, in that they learn at a very early stage how to balance and how to focus on completing a task, whatever that task is. So that's one of the ways that we've seen Girls Brigade be very beneficial to the young people. It help them to become very mature about how they manage their affairs and even how they manage their studies.
And I also want to say that many of the sections interact. For example, you would find that as a member of the Girls Brigade, you often have to read in church or something like that. So although reading is an educational thing and the Bible is a spiritual thing, public reading in events during, say, a church service, whenever we attend a church, those are things that we find even weak readers begin to like. I had one young lady in class 5 this year, and her mother said, she really wanted to come because she liked reading in church. Now, standing up and reading in front of a crowd is an educational technique. but it's also spiritual because you learn the Bible. So some of the areas, in fact, most of them overlap.
You find, Annika, that your self-confidence improved?
Yes, it has improved greatly for self-confidence.
Can you document in your mind? Can you look back over the course of your life and see where you were at a certain point before you joined the Girls Brigade? Are you able to do that? Are you able to look at yourself, introspect? Are you able to look in your mind, introspect, think, and say, well, let's do it now. Before you were a member, why y'all laughing? Why y'all laughing?
And it can be truthful.
Yeah, but saying to you, say now, before you were a Girls Brigade, and you don't have to put all your business out on the street. I'm not asking you that, but can you remember what you were like before you were Girls Brigade? Are you remembering that now?
Actually, no, I was 5 years old.
Okay. Oh, that's why you're laughing. Okay. So at what? So you sort of grew up in the Girls Brigade.
Yes.
Oh, you ain't a good example. She been trained from small.
One of the things I must say, two
You're
things.
An example. But I'm trying. Forgive me. But I'm trying to find out. And what I'm trying to get across, the transformation that young women. So do you have any young women that came into the? Of course you do. That came into the Girls Brigade at a later stage in their life, who came from a past, or who were on a path that perhaps was leading them into not such a beneficial result, or not in their best interest. You've had that experience, and you've seen the transformation.
Oh, yeah.
What is? Can you give us a sense of what that's like, and what you've seen, and what changes? Then I'm gonna stop talking now. What changes the Girls Brigade have made in these young people's lives?
Well, I could speak for Road Town. In Road Town, we have the Longbush area, for example, and we find that it's a challenging neighborhood, but that's on the educational side. It's just almost a given that we expect our kids to go to, and we call them ours, to go to college. Mm-hmm. So when they come from high school, in fact, by the year in class Form 5, before we are asking them, so, what you doing, It's a little gentle nudge, but we're asking what you're doing, and they're like, oh, well, we take a year off. We say, for what? And by that age, by the time they graduate, we expect them to have, start thinking that way. And I think that most of the persons who I started out with, I'm not, whatever they had planned, or I don't know, they are at least went to college. We have some that are teachers now, and even as teachers, first teachers will come in there, we'll say, okay, fine, that dress kind of tight for a teacher, but we still mold them as they mold us as well. It's more of a relationship, and they've gone on, and some we try to push on to the higher levels, but they say, teach, okay, this is enough for me. Some will even tell me I'm not an overachiever teacher, and I can't understand what that means. But some have stopped after college, but the fact is they've moved on to a level, at least one further level that they might not have reached had they not been around a bunch of people who, focused like that.
So you're comfortable as a Girl Brigade, and you sort of, it's ingrained in you. Your behavior is ingrained in you in a sense that whatever situation you're in, you sort of usually react the right way. Do you find that?
Yes. Actually, I have to think a lot about, am I doing the right thing? Am I following the right crowd? Basically, I find myself having a lot of positive people around me. And if I happen to pick up somebody that is negative, I quickly just let them go, and I don't have a problem with doing that.
So you would think that's fantastic. That's sort of what I'm looking for. So you immediately now you start looking at the value of your relationships.
Yes.
You start looking at the consequences of your actions. and so then that comes from 5 years old being trained in the Girls Brigade, and that is the type of relationship or that the Girls Brigade is building in to the young women.
That's correct. And if I'm allowed to share something of my own personal experience, because you will find it with most of the persons who are in Girls Brigade even now as leaders. If you ask them when we joined, our answers are almost the same as hers. Persons who really get a Girls Brigade experience, you never really leave. So you have times like everyone else. As a teenager when you may drift and go and do your own thing, but you come right back.
So it's really important for parents to get their children in the Girls Brigade at underground level at a very early age. And the earliest age is 5 years old.
Yes.
You start earning badges at 5. We've had some at 4, but you start earning badges at 5.
So at 5 years old is really a good time for parents to get their children into the Girls Brigade, because it's like training up a child in the way he should go.
Precisely.
Yes.
Precisely. I wanted to share something. I don't mind, because I think Christianity is not a closed club. It's God is about inviting people in, and we are supposed to be like that. I remember one experience I had as a young lady. I think I may have been about 18 or so, and I was out somewhere. And everybody was drinking all kind of things, as usual. And I just kept saying, okay, well, I'll have a fruit punch. And they kept looking at me like, what's wrong with you, you know? You can drink whatever you want. You're going to have fruit punch. All night you're having fruit punch? I said, no, that's all. And I never really put a finger on why it was that I didn't drink alcohol. And it was only when I decided one day to go back to Girls Brigade and lead. I think it was the same year, because I watched my captain doing a lot of things all by herself, and she trained so many people in the community, and I said it was time for me to go back and give back to those who gave to me. And it was when I went back and I started to go back over some of the things that they taught us. And I started to go over some of the rules and things that they taught us from 5. And there on the list, a Girls Brigader does not drink alcohol or beer.
Oh. So it was so in you that you didn't even have to think about it. It's just, that's something, you just don't do that.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
That's deep. Yeah, that's really cool. What activities, let me see, what activities do you have during the conference that the public can attend, and how much it costs?
Well, the entire conference, a local registration fee, if you want to be a part of the whole conference and get to go on the tours, get to attend the banquets and so forth and all the workshops, the local registration fee is $250. Okay. Now, if you just want to go to a particular event, like the banquet, which is going to be at the end of the conference, is going to be $60 per person, or if it's a couple, it'll be $100.
Okay, that's a good question. Thanks for asking that question, because I didn't even think that you had all these other activities, and perhaps you need to remind me and the audience about the activities surrounding the conference and how they can participate. And we'll do that when we come back after this word from our sponsors.
Spotlight is brought to you by the National Bank of the Virgin Islands, Tortola Concrete Limited, Gilbert's Painting Contractors, and CCT Global Communications.
Welcome back to Spotlight. I'm having a good time with the Girls Brigade. Very interesting discussion. I'm sorry you missed it if you just joined us, but of course you can check it out later on jtvlive.net, and you could look at the rebroadcast on Sunday afternoon at 2:30, so you still get a chance to see it. But we're having a great discussion about the value of the Girls Brigade in the community and the upcoming conference, and there's a whole bunch of stuff going on surrounding the conference that I'm so into what the Girls Brigade is doing that I'm failing to extract. So talk about the activities in the conference that the public can participate in, what the costs are, and how to get tickets and connect.
Right. Well, during the conference, as I indicated before, we'll be having a number of workshops. which will be beneficial to anyone in the community, even whether you're connected to Girls Brigade or not. And I especially wanted to pitch to our local population. We will be having the chance to dive into quite a bit of our culture at this conference. You'll get a chance, those who like craft, you'll have a chance to go and learn straw work if you want to do that. Or those who like performing arts, you get a chance to learn things like the quadrille. So you get an opportunity to participate in things like that. We will be doing some island tours. So a lot of places that we tend to take for granted every day, we'll have a chance to go around and
a lot of places that we haven't been to.
Yes, we haven't been to or we take for granted. We get a chance to learn about them. And we're also going to be doing some island tours to some of our neighboring islands. And at the end, as a big finale in the conference, we're going to be having a lovely banquet, a formal event. And we also are going to be featuring our emerging youth at that. We're going to have a very special presentation that we'll be having, because there are some of our youths who have joined our regional youth project. And as part of that youth project, they're going to be going for the Girls Brigade International Queens Awards and for the Duke of Edinburgh International Awards. So it's quite a big challenge for them, and we're going to be featuring those young people at the banquet.
All right, cool. And at the banquet, which you're going to just food and like a guest speaker. What's going to be fun about the banquet?
Well, I keep hinting it. We don't want to use the word pageant, but there's going to be something very close to that at the banquet, because those young people have been given some assignments to do, and you're going to be seeing the fruits of that.
Okay. So they're going to be displaying their talent, their creativity,
Yes.
and the projects that they have made.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not going to be a beauty pageant, but it'll be a display of...
It's going to be a competition.
A competition. Okay. All right, cool. And $60, and it's going to be at the same...
Treasure.
The same treasure ride. And the $250 registration fee is for what?
If you pay the $250 registration fee, you get to go to everything.
So the banquet is included in that,
Yeah.
and you go to all the events that being held and island tours, and
Yes.
so it's like one big package.
Yes.
And how can someone get in touch and get registered and all the tickets and stuff?
Right. You can contact Dr. Nikai Rubain for registration forms. You can contact her via the dental.
Yeah, the dental clinic and the health services authority.
Yes.
Yes.
And she can get you the registration forms, and you can just resubmit them back to her. Persons who want to do registrations now, we would ask you to at least get them in by, say, next Monday, so that we can have the final numbers for registrations.
Okay, so by next Monday, I'd like to close that off. Okay. What kind of young ladies have the Girls Brigade produced in terms of careers, and how can girls join the Girls Brigade? So first, tell us all your product. Who do we know that's important at a Girls Brigade?
You just call one, Dr. Nikai Rubain.
Right, okay.
We have Michelle Leslie. We have Aline Bruley. She's a lab tech at the hospital. There's so many. And I just want to say that Girls Brigade...
Well, you
myself,
and Hazelyn, right? You're a big-time attorney in the prosecutor's office?
The government. I work with the AG's Chambers.
The AG's Chambers, yes. And you're an attorney as well?
Yes.
At Haney's?
Yes, right.
Yes.
We have teachers. We have...
a lot of people.
I think that I need to say that... okay.
Let me pull out my documents.
We have some.
Are you seeing he's done his research?
These are the executive of the National Girls Brigade Council, right? You have a National Girls Brigade Council, and Teacher Dorothy.
Dorothy Turnbull.
Is the president. She's still the president?
She's still the president, and she's an active leader in Rotown.
Yeah.
That's cool. She's just doing it. Teacher Dorothy, I mean, we had lots of fun in secondary school. Because she used to let the girls make sandwiches when we want to go hiking and go on the beach and stuff. Use the home economics room. She was just so cool. So we had a good time in secondary school with teacher Dorothy. Commissioner Reverend Yvonne Flores.
That's right.
A minister.
Yes, we all know she's a Methodist minister. And patron Mrs. Idris O'Neill, Dr. O'Neill, one of our first ladies,
Yes.
right? Janice Blyden, she's
Janice
a
Blyden.
training officer.
Yes.
You know, Janice Blyden, she's the library.
That's right.
And you got Nick Ruben, she's here. Miss Ava Thomas.
Yes.
I'm not familiar.
She's one of our
national
emerging-
secretary.
Emerging leader.
She's an emerging leader.
She's an emerging leader, but she's also very ambitious because she's also my regional secretary.
Okay. And another national secretary, assistant national secretary, is Miss Natalie Agard.
Yes.
Agard, I'm not familiar with her. And public relations, Miss Carmen Rennie Tadman.
Teachers. Gwenny, we know that's Gwenny.
Okay. Carmen.
Carmen.
We know her as Gwenny.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. So you got quite an illustrious group of brigaders that the Girls Brigade has turned out over the years in leadership and so on.
And remember, the Girls Brigade was started in 1965. So it's quite a lot to go from 1965 until now.
Yeah.
In Tortola.
And another question was, how can girls join the Girls Brigade? How do you join them?
You just turn up to a meeting, no pressure, and you keep coming for at least about a month. And once we can see that kind of commitment, then we will prepare you to learn the aim and the motto and become enrolled.
How many chapters do you have in the BVI?
In the BVI, we have 6 active companies.
Okay, they're companies, not chapters, companies. So you have a Long Look Company, the Roadtown Company, Seacoast Bay Company,
Purcell, Valley Virgin Gorda, and East End.
So you could, and how would you be able to find out who the leaders of the companies are? The captains, is there some kind of list? You have a website, you gotta get with it, you gotta get with it.
And Rotown has a email. It is rtgbcompany at yahoo.com.
At Yahoo.
That's for
Okay.
Rotown.
Right.
Seacoast Bay, you can contact Janice Nibs Blyden. Virgin Gorda is Captain Faye Reese. I think she has another name now, but it's Captain Faye Reese
Yes,
in
that's
Virgin Gorda.
I know Faye Reese. That's
And of course, Teacher Hazel in Long Look.
Yeah.
And in Easton
It's Adele Fred.
Adele Fred in Easton.
in Adele and Easton. Okay.
And it's Denise Dawson for Purcell.
Okay, cool. So if you don't remember anything else, you can remember RTGB Company
at yahoo.com.
RTGB, that means Roadtown Girls Brigade Company.
Yes.
At yahoo.com. So that's RTGB Company at yahoo.com. And you could always send an email there and
we'll put you in touch with
the right company. Yeah. So that's cool. So you come in and you come to a meeting, and the meetings are every Thursday.
No, there are different times and days for different communities. I can indicate. Roadtown is on Thursdays at 4. Seacoast Bay is on Saturdays at 4. Long Look is on Saturdays at 3. Valley Virgin Gorda is every first and third Saturday at 3. Purcell is on Saturdays as well. I'm not sure of the time. And East End is on Thursdays at 5.
Okay. Then you come in and you go through a process and you start coming regularly, and you get, every time you come, you get trained in something and you participate and you grow with the Girls Brigade.
That's
correct.
Now, as a brigader, Miss Anika Williams, where are you going? Where you see yourself going? What you going to become? What your life is going to be like? What you envision your life is going to be like?
Well, actually, I just got accepted into one of the top universities in the UK, the University of Manchester, and that was basically because of the project that I am currently in, where I'll be getting the Duke of Edinburgh Award and the Queen's Service Award, and my school, the school that I'm going to actually recognize the award, and it helped me get into a good school. And hopefully I would become a Queen Counsel, and I'm going to pursue a degree in law, and become, my degree will qualify me to be a barrister or a solicitor. And basically I want to be the #1 prosecutor in the Virgin Islands.
Okay. So you're gonna come back and work for you're gonna take that job of what's that lady name?
DPP.
The DPP job. Miss Hines, she's gonna take Miss Hines' job. Okay. Yeah, but that's cool. Start training from now. Yeah. In time you'll be ready. But that's great. But I mean, I think what's important here is the ambition, the confidence, the sense of focus and direction that the Girls Brigade bring to young women.
And we want to say that the parents do help as well. Annika's own mom is on the Foy. Annika's and her sister, they're both members of the Girls Brigade. And parents always have that supporting role also.
Yeah.
So the parents are very involved.
You would like them to be, but they usually are.
They don't just come and dump the 5-year-olds and turn the Girls Brigade into a babysitting facility, right?
Not really.
No. They really participate and they help out. What I forgot to ask, what you need to say that we haven't said, because I'm monitoring at o'clock.
Well, before you go to the conference, in addition to the conference, I just want us to remember to volunteer. All of these groups really depend on the support of the community. So if you have a talent, there's something you want to share, if you want to teach a girl how to hem their underclothes or socks, or teach them tart making, mobby making, we're open and welcome you.
That's good. So give the conference information one more time, Ms. Hazel.
The conference will be from the 14th through the 21st of July. It will be held at the Treasure Isle Hotel. As I said, there's a registration fee for the conference of $250. That covers everything. Or you can come to the banquet at the end, which will be $60 per person or $100 per couple. And there are some free events that everyone can attend to. There will be the opening ceremony, which will be at Sick House Bay on the Sunday, the 15th of July at 9 a.m. And there's going to be a parade before that, a parade of all the nations who are going to be there. So it'll be good, something good for everyone to see. And on Friday, we will have the closing ceremony at the Rotown Methodist Church early in the morning, 8:30 a.m. So, it might be possible to just steal an hour away from work before you go and come to the closing ceremony. So those are some of the events. There's one thing I forgot to pitch. The expedition that we're opening to the younger folks, even those who are not at the conference, is going to be available. There's a registration fee of $50 for that, because they will also be required to attend some workshops to prepare them for that expedition.
Cool.
And to contact Dr. Nikai.
Yeah, they can. They register in the same way. They can contact Dr. Nikai Rubain
At the Health Services Dental Clinic, and they could also send an email to rtgbcompany@yahoo.com. rtgbcompany@yahoo.com. We'll make that the central clearinghouse, right? And Miss Annika, I'm gonna put you on the spot. You gotta say something to your sisters out there about joining the Girls Brigade and what it means to be a Girls Brigader, and how important it is for you and how important it will be for them.
Well, basically, Girls Brigade is a life-changing organization. If you want to stay grounded or become grounded, you should join. It's basically, you learn a lot from Girls Brigade. You learn about reverence, self-control, a sense of responsibility, and
Finished up. and have a rich quality of life.
And a rich quality of life.
Great. I want to thank y'all very much for being my guest on Spotlight. It's been a lot of fun and much success with the conference. And we are hoping, I'm looking for big things from the Girls Brigade regarding influencing, have a greater impact on the community and a greater influence with young women in the community. So I think this conference will be a good thing for the BVI and a good thing for the community as well. Thanks for being my guest.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, next week the spotlight will be on Little Speaker's Touch. Yes. Next week the spotlight will be on Little Speaker's Touch, something like the Girls Brigade, but not quite. It's a little organization with a mission to groom young people with good speaking ability, etiquette, manners, and self-confidence. So don't miss it. You may know some young person that would benefit from such a program. So you tune into Spotlight next Tuesday right here on JTV Channel 55. And of course, you can catch the rebroadcast on Sunday afternoons at 2:30. And you could also catch all the Spotlights, all the ones that you missed, the one tonight that you missed. If you don't catch it on Sunday, you can go to jtvlive.net and you can catch it anytime you like. So keep it right here at the Spotlight, because I want to first, before I say that, I mean, that was just like so perfect into that, but I can't do it that way. Thank you for watching. Thanks for your words of encouragement, your suggestions, your criticisms, and all the good things you say to me to encourage me. Keep emailing me at jtvlive@yahoo.com. I'm Medjuenka, and this is what I was going to say back then that I have to say now. I'm Medjuenka, and reminding you that when the spotlight is on, you see the facts. Peace and blessings.
This program is sponsored by the law firm of J.S. Archibald & Co. and by the trust company J.S. Archibald Trust Services Limited, both of Roadtown, Tortola, BVI.